All right. We are live. Okay, so let's do this over here. Um, Hello everybody. Welcome to the PS podcast. I am here with my good buddies, Living and Lex. Say hi.
Hello.
What up?
What up? I'm gonna want to start this podcast off by introducing ourselves individually. So, Lex, you want to go ahead and start with that?
Yep, my name's Lex. I'm 23 years old and I like teriyaki beef.
Living, living.
Wait, what?
go,
Oh,
go, living.
my name's Living. I am 25 years old, and I don't know anything about myself.
I don't know who I am.
No, but in reality, yeah, that's about it.
Okay, well, my name's Snap Pop, and I'm your baby mama's favorite streamer. So let me just drop that right now. Snap Up here, coming at y'all live,
No.
coming at y'all live with the sexy night stuff.
No, no,
Please,
no.
All right, all right, all right,
please,
all right, all
somebody
right.
control
Focus up,
some.
focus up, focus up, focus up. Okay, so I think we do. I think you're right, Limber. Let's just get straight into the big topic over here. Um, so the title of this episode, first episode, is going to be called Mentalville, right? And one of the main points that I started doing this podcast is because of a certain company that I heard about and seen on YouTube, and and pretty much how they're taking advantage of people with mental health issues and mental health problems. So that's pretty much what got me wanting to do this podcast. So I got these two people along for the ride, just come and enjoy the convertible ride with me. And pretty much the company is called BetterHelp. I don't know if did you guys Lex and Living, did you guys look into it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
And what did your guys' research? What did you guys come to conclusion of the research?
Go ahead, Lex.
Um, I feel like this company was meant to like start off for like a right for the good reasons. And then when it came to like social media and everything, I feel like they just took over and just now they're exploiting it for like
Mm-hmm.
money and sponsorships. And so like I've seen a couple, like a lot of YouTubers complaining or people complaining because like they say that the counselors are fake and like they're not like actually like licensed, but
Mm-hmm.
like in like for the people terms in their terms of service, it says that they do not guarantee that these are people are licensed professionals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when you do these sorts of things, you have to realize that you're doing them at your own risk, as well as like I don't know.
No, yeah, I get what you mean, but that's one of my problems with it because when I first heard about it, I was like, I first heard about it before I even knew about um, the problems behind it. I heard about it and I said, better help. That sounds like a good idea. $200 to to get help. If you need help, most people aren't going to be so open and in public with getting help. So for me,
Right.
it was like a good um, try, I guess you could say, to trying to help people. But once I did find out about the problems, and once I did find out about how they were going about getting their name and getting themselves known, that's where more of the issues came up.
Yeah.
So what about you, Living? When you did your research, what did you come up with?
No, well, it's basically like almost the same thing. It's just when I was looking at BetterHelp, it was it was supposed to start off as like a instant reply counselor type of thing where if someone was suffering through depression or anxiety or whatever the case it was, that they were going to have immediate chat per se, like that's what they were trying to do. But other than that, I mean, the motives were good, but just the way they went about it and it turned into a business, just everything in general, like it just went south really quick, especially when they started involving YouTubers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When they started involving like people that were public figures, like Philip DeFranco, for instance, like he is like an avid like BetterHelp is actually a good company, and this, and that. But it's just like when you look at all this stuff, like all the points where they don't guarantee you a licensed counselor, they don't guarantee you a licensed therapist or someone that can actually like these people can't diagnose you with a disease or with a mental illness or whatever it is. And
Mm,
most of the people that have done like their chat or whatever that I've read up on, they said that and they end up making their own YouTube video saying I came to the conclusion that I have you know um that I have OCD or I have ADHD
yeah.
or I have depression. I'm suffering through depression, and it's like, how did you come up with that conclusion? Did your doctor say that you have that? And it's like, oh no, my counselor from BetterHelp told me, and I'm like,
Hmm.
how if like their term says that they don't guarantee you a license and they can't like diagnose you as you know diagnose you with whatever you have. So that's why I was confused at first.
Yeah, when I first heard about it, like I said, I heard about it and I thought it was a good idea, but I don't know if you guys know this, but did you guys know that Philip DeFranco actually owns some of
Yeah,
BetterHelp? And,
yeah.
and,
Yep.
and, and that's how it got pushed out to the YouTubers so much is that he was offering $100 per sign up to the YouTuber. They would get half of what they if they were big, they would get half. If they were small, they get like $50. So that helped really people push out the sponsorship. So once I saw that, that to me, you look at Philip DeFranco, and if you know YouTube, he's mostly a good guy. Not much bad goes around his name. But hearing this, to me, was like throw him under the bus.
Yeah.
And not only that, like you said, living like they're getting you these counselors, which one, they're not qualified to be counselors. Two,
Hmm.
I think it was Drama Alert that said that they looked up some of these counselors or scars. I don't know who it was, and they looked it up, and some of these counselors are being charged for like domestic abuse, sexual assault, and it's like how are you gonna
Yeah,
have counselors like that trying to sit here and give people help? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Well, that follows up with like this documentary I was watching. It was like a Canadian documentary, but it was about how like people now can pay for their degrees. They can pay for attendance fees, admissions fees, and grade like they give you report cards, they give you attendance records, they give you a degree, and you just pay for all that. You don't
Hmm.
have to go to class, you don't do anything. And now
Hmm.
people are like, it's become bigger, so now people are using it, and it's like, I don't know, I don't know.
It's like that's another thing. Like that's a good point because um that especially here in America, going to that is like there's a would you say there's like a bunch of churches, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people that I've seen personally, and actually, I think it was Jimmy Fallon that also made fun of this, but it was easy enough to get yourself licensed to be a pastor, to marry people, to be a pastor, to own a church. And the only thing you had to do was take a test, and that was it. And you paid like $50 for your certificate, and you became a pastor. And a lot of people become that, and it's just like nowadays, it's like it goes back to what we're saying. It's like these counselors, did they really go to school for what they did? And
Yep.
obviously BetterHelp is like, no, we don't even care at this point. We're just trying to help. And I understand their motives were like in good intentions, but like just their whole way of executing everything was just bad. It was just horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to touch upon a subject that you were talking about living because you know how you said that people kind of self declare themselves depressed or whatever the
Yeah,
it may
yeah.
be. I watched a Netflix show. I don't think it was a documentary. I think it was just a show they called. If I remember correctly, I think the show is called End of the World or something like that.
Hmm.
And pretty much what it is it's a kid who at a young age, I think if I remember correctly, a kid at a young age likes messing with animals. He likes hurting them. He likes killing them, and he ends up growing this fond like like an attachment to hurting things. So at a
Yeah.
young age, he declared himself a psychopath. And he's like, I'm a psychopath. I'm crazy. I'm a murderer. And the whole show is in his head is about him um, meeting a girl, and he's like, this is the one I'm killing. This is the one that I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna make myself a psychopath. And not to go too much into the show, but a little bit later, something happens where somebody dies, and he realizes that he was a self-proclaimed psychopath. And when it came down to it, he wasn't, and he didn't have those feelings anymore. So that show pretty much taught me the same thing: is that people don't sit here and want to go get help. They don't want to go um, pretty much make themselves vulnerable and say, I'm sick. I need help. Give me the help I need. They don't want to do that because what comes along with that is people might publicly know, and and,
Yeah.
and, and people might judge them. So most people just sit at home, and you'll see it. I mean, I know a couple people who go and post depressing memes or post stuff they want to kill themselves as a joke, and it's to an extent it's kind of funny. But then when you look past it, it's all like, are you just like not happy with where you are in life that you can change that, or do you really have depression? Because that's two different things.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like what I will what I really talk about. It's like depression is one thing, being sad is another thing. They're
Right.
two
Yep.
total different things. And don't get me wrong, everybody has to go through sadness in order to just live life. Like that's how it is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But depression, what it really does, it really like impacts your life um in a way where like a person could be very healthy, right? They could be very healthy, their father, mother, loved one, whatever dies, and they go into deep depression. Something in them switches that they have never done before. They stop taking care of themselves, or they seclude themselves, or that's what depression does. It really impacts your life. And if you just see the word itself, it's also been used in like finances, like the Great Depression, and what did that do? It was like it really depleted all of the finances. So if we're sitting here, we're like, oh yeah, I'm depressed, but you're out here partying, and it's like, are
Yep.
you really though? Like, are you
Yep.
really
Yeah.
depressed, or did you just go through a mood swing where like you were sad
Yep.
and now you're fine? Like because everybody can be sad. That's fine, but being depressed is like a suck hole that you can't get out,
Yep.
and it's just
Yeah.
that's one thing that I tell everybody. And like going back to the whole self-diagnose, self-proclaim, like that's what's been going on nowadays, especially in this generation, that everybody, including like my generation, those above us and below us, it's like our parents, I don't know if you guys went through it, but like my parents, especially my mom, would be like, you have ADHD. And for a while as a kid, I was like, dang, I do have ADHD because I can't sit still. I can't, whatever.
Uh huh.
I went to the doctors. I don't have ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it really does matter. Like people's, especially like your parents or people that you love or you look up to, when they say something about you like you have a mental illness, you start believing it because they're higher, they're above you, they're wiser. That's what you believe at a young age. So when you get older, that's what you're programmed in your mind. Oh, I'm this, that's why I can't succeed, or I have this, that's why I can't behave, or I have this, that's why I can choose to act out. And it's like, no, you don't. Like if you have documentation that you have a mental illness, I will believe you. But other than that, I feel like this trend of being mentally ill needs to stop because it should keep its integrity. People that actually have mental illness should be like, oh, it, how can I say this? Like you don't see them walking around like, oh, I have, you know, um autism, and they just tell you like, yeah, I have autism out of nowhere. And then you have these people that self-proclaim themselves, and then they act out and they're like, yeah, I have a rare case of autism. And you're like, okay, like,
Yeah, it's definitely easy for today's people in today's world to sit here and say something's wrong with me, and again, nowadays it's so popular and so cool to have something wrong with you. It's so popular to have who said it? It was a rapper I think that said it. I forgot what rapper said it, but he said oh, it's Russ. Russ says that smooth rides ain't as fun to watch as train wrecks.
Mm.
And it's pretty much saying like people like drama, people like having attention drawn to them,
Yeah.
and it's like
Mhm.
that's society now. You go and somebody gets in an accident, I guarantee you got 4 or 5 people recording
Instead of helping.
instead of helping.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, of course, and that's what I'm trying to say. It's just like I, going to like rapper thing too. Like I, the whole mental illness thing wasn't a thing
Right.
until
Yep.
I believe
Yep.
Logic put it up there, and his intentions were good, just as Joyner Lucas. It was good as well. I don't know if you guys heard like Joyner Lucas's song. I'm sorry, it's like a like
Yeah. I know what it
it's a
is.
Yeah.
really good. I'm sorry, this is my opinion, but I think that song is way better than Logic's.
Mm-hmm.
So just hands down. But other than that, it's like I feel like that kind of rapping that way, that style, just what he did and how he did it in a platform, it was good. It's just people tend to ruin something good that is being brought up. Like mental illness, it is a real thing.
Yep.
Good. What are we going to do about it? Let's oversaturate the world with it, shove it down everybody's throats that every single person that walks around the world has a mental illness. And it's like, no, that is wrong. That's not what it is. If you want to say everyone's different, go right ahead. If you want to say everyone's an individual, go right ahead. But you cannot diagnose everyone with a mental illness.
Yeah.
Illness means there's something not right with you. And that's what I'm saying. People are like twisting the words and making it sound pretty. And for better lack of words, it's like shit. You just spray Febreze over. Like honestly.
Yep.
um, it's like I tell my girl this all the time. I tell her all the time that back in the day, what was considered a psychotic level nowadays is normal.
Yeah,
Nowadays, to be psychotic is the levels that it was put at back in the day. Now it's just crazy, and it's I think it's a lot of things that go into it and a lot of things that factor into it. But it's just crazy to think that the normal person being born into this world is going to most likely end up with those levels and end up with those that stress and those problems.
hmm
It's just crazy, dude. It's crazy. Think about it. Like before 9/11, dude, that really wasn't a worry, you know. Before 9/11, it was really never a problem as far as something like that would happen to us. But then it happened, and now everybody worried about it. You know what I mean?
I
and,
agree.
Yeah.
and and that's a level of stress within itself right there. Nowadays, you got girls wanting to look good and be thin and look all great for Instagram or pictures or going out partying whatever. That's a stress within itself. It's like the to sustain and keep that image of being cool and being the cool guy or the good looking girl. It's like it brings stress for no reason.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like the thing with the whole how can I say this? Um it was like I don't know if you guys seen the Shane Dawson. He did a documentary, I guess you could say. I don't know how many parts. I stopped after the second, but he did something about Jake Paul. He's like a big, obviously, internet sensation,
Yeah.
and like he brought up a point on he also promoted BetterHelp in his documentary, but it was like calling someone a sociopath. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. And one thing that Logan Paul really did say the right thing was a lot of people in this world have tendencies. Like, for
Yeah.
instance, if Snap Hop, we go to his house and his house is super clean, like take off your shoes in the front of the door. Here's some booty, like some booty socks. Like, I want my house clean. You will sit there and be like, man, this dude got some OCD.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and
Yup.
it's like And it's like he gets diagnosed by his friends and family, and he thinks he has OCD. So his whole life, he thinks he has OCD, right? But that is wrong. A person, for example, one thing that I seen about OCD was a guy that literally had OCD would wash his hands every 2 minutes until he would bleed because he wanted to make sure that he was clean, like his hands were clean.
What the hell?
That is OCD. That's what I'm saying. That is OCD. That's how clean a person has to be. A germaphobe, someone that's really scared about germs, is OCD. Like they want to be clean, they want to be perfect. They want nothing to do with the world. Like they will freak out, they will die if like that happens to them, you know?
Yeah.
But a lot of people have tendencies. So that's what I was trying to get at. Snapchat would have OCD tendencies. Like he wants to be very clean, but that doesn't necessarily mean he has OCD.
No,
He just has,
we get the message,
you know.
Living. We get it. You trying to tell me
So
I need to shower more? I get it.
shower, bro. Shower, bro. I can smell you through the mic. No, but that's pretty much it. It's just like that's how I feel, especially with mental illness, depression. Really want to tackle that. It's like a lot of people say I'm depressed. I want to kill myself, and I like I'll say like as respectful as I can be. It's like I've been depressed. I've been to the point where I wanted to kill myself, but I was too much of a girl to do it. Not girl, I couldn't say that, but I was too. I would wuss out, you know. So technically, I wouldn't be what suicidal, you know.
Right.
And
You just
and
like
to
playing
that,
games.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. At a young age, you play games. You want to get people's attention. So I'm not ashamed to say like, oh, I just did it for people's attention. Like, that's what I did. You know. But nowadays, it's like everyone sees. How can I say this? Everyone says that they're depressed, but are they really though?
I think it's so sad when you have little kids that are like 10, 11, 12 who are getting bullied because that's just how school is.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I mean, I might have got bullied around, like maybe not pushed around or fought or anything, but people would make fun of me or something about something I did or something I wore or anything like that. And
Yeah.
you just got to have a tough skin and kind of brush it off. But nowadays, it's like you don't know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could drive a kid to commit suicide.
Yeah. And unfortunately, for like my generation, that was like a norm. Like going through high school, people were like, "Oh, I'm so depressed because of this," or "I'm so depressed because I couldn't go to the movies." Like that was a normal thing for someone to say, and people who suffered with depression, unfortunately, at my school, came to worse circumstances. So it took for people like, and since these events were happening, people were using that even more to
Hmm.
like bait in for more attention though.
Yeah.
It wasn't because they were actually depressed, it's because they wanted more attention. Like they would talk about how someone had passed away and they really didn't talk to them on that kind of level. But then whenever they pass away, they're like, "Oh, this happened and this happened and this happened,
Yeah.
and it was all my fault." It's like you're doing, and I'm so depressed because something happened. It's like you don't. There are people who are actually close to that person that are depressed because they just lost, not depressed, but like that triggers
Yeah.
like those emotions, and then
Yeah.
with you talking about it, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're so depressed," but in reality, like Living was saying, you're just sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something that you go through. That's life. Like you're just sad. Like
Yeah.
you can be sad. It's okay to be sad.
yeah.
But to have depression and have anxiety and have
Yeah.
ADHD is a whole nother level to just
Yeah.
being sad
Yeah.
or irritated. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And unfortunately, that's the problem with this like society or millennials or however people want to call it. That's the problem
Yeah.
nowadays.
And it's like they try to blame our generation, like they're trying to blame us. People try to point fingers. I guess that's the main issue. Is who can we point the fingers for all of this? Like the generation's so messed up. You got little kids killing themselves. You got
Yep.
20-year-olds becoming rappers talking about depression, and then you got their parents going out still partying, although they're 40 years old, you know. And then you got the older generation, like our grandparents or our parents or whatever. They're like, what happened? What happened between us and our kids? What switched? And everybody tries to look for, okay, we're gonna blame so and so. We're gonna blame economy. We're gonna blame the United States. And it's like, no, blame yourself if it affects you that much, especially if it affects you in like a family level and something happens. Don't I'm not trying to say like put the blame on yourself if it wasn't your fault, but don't sit there and be like, oh, this person's this way because of this, and he's a millennial, so oh well. And it's like, it wasn't because of that. Trust me, there's a lot of people that just live life normal and they're like 21 years old,
Yeah.
and it's just like, that's another thing that annoys me when what Lex talked about, being irritated and having what is it, anger management. And that is a big difference. Like, a lot of people don't see the difference between both of them. And it's like, I've seen so many people that be like, I have anger management issues. You'll see them at Starbucks and they'll like be like, oh man, I'm waiting for my coffee, bro, hurry up, I want my coffee. And it's like, you're just impatient.
Yeah.
You don't have anger issues. Like, bro, anger issues is like, you want to like just flip tables and just break stuff, bro.
Because
Like
your
that,
eight cracked.
for real, bro.
That was
Like,
that was
And
hey,
then
that was my
like,
brother-in-law. My brother-in-law would flip shit because his eight cracked.
and
what do you
then
mean?
when,
Yes.
oh,
He would flip shit and get all mad and be like, "We're cleaning this whole fucking house," and I was like, "Okay, all right."
What?
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. He used to be really bad, but he fixed it. He worked on it more himself than
Mhm.
getting help or anything, and he's way better now.
Yeah, anger. Ah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like, especially like the young age. Man, it just sucks because it's like, it's not, especially those that are like under 18 or they're kids. Obviously, we've been there. We've been kids. We've done stuff for attention. We've
Hmm.
also done stuff where
Yeah,
we're either proud or not too proud of what we've done.
$20
But
is $20.
but it's just like what I see. It's really sad, and it's just like my thing. I was telling my girl about it. It's like, who's gonna be there to just be like, enough is enough. Mental illness is mental illness. It is an illness that
Yeah,
needs to be fixed. And we're not saying there's something wrong with you, but there is. Like, we're not gonna sugarcoat it. Like, an
yeah,
illness
yeah.
means there's
It's
something not right with you. Like, I'm tired of this soft generation. Oh, you said illness. That's the correct political, if you want to say political, that's the correct term, you know?
yeah, it's
So it's
definitely
like,
a touchy subject for a lot of people.
and it is. A lot of people try to run away from it, and I feel like that's the main source of mental illness being such a trendy topic, but also touchy. And it's because a lot of people that do suffer from mental illness, they want to be heard, but then
yep,
you got these really fake people that oversaturated the news, the media, the music, anything with, I got ADHD, what's up, blah 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 blah, I got anxiety, blah 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 blah. But they're out there like in the Bahamas or something, and you're just like, I'm so confused, bro. Like, I thought you were suffering through depression. I thought you were suffering through this. I thought you were helping out this, the whole taboo thing that you're saying about mental illness, and there's nothing going on.
yep,
Hmm.
But it's just, I don't know, man. I just feel like better help to go back if they're listening. Obviously, they probably aren't, but if this ever gets to them, I personally understand your intentions. I know that you were trying to do something good, but get your shit together, because that's not cool. What you guys did
yeah.
is not cool.
Don't sell it, and then it says that they like you have to like accept the terms obviously, but they can record your sessions. They record your sessions, and they sell that data
What?
to like marketers, and
Yeah,
they so they can have like they might bleep out your name but like your issues that you went through, they sell it to like marketers. That data, they sell it to marketers so they can make better advertisement for mental illnesses.
Dude, you'd be surprised. I went to Meyer today, and
Uh-huh.
anything we seen that was digital had a thing on there saying either notice your information can be sold to third parties, or notice your information will not be sold to third party. It's crazy how much of our information, what we do on a daily basis, is being sold to third party companies.
Yep.
Yeah. I
That's why
I
I like the iPhone, because on the iPhone, if you go to your privacy settings and you dig a little deep, you can get to a point where you turn off voice activated ads.
Yep.
You
wow.
ever you ever say something like, "Oh, I want McDonald's," and then you go on your fucking internet browser
Bro, it
and there's
happens.
McDonald's.
Yep.
Bro, it's not even that. I'll legit like right now would be talking. It happened to me in Snap Pop once. He asked me about some microphone, and I said the word exactly like, "Oh, was this microphone with this model number?" Like, and then and I'm like, "Wait, I think I'm wrong. Let me check." I clicked Google on my phone. I just pressed the first letter, and it was the whole model number and everything. And I'm like, "Hold on, I've never searched this up ever in my phone, and
Yep.
it's never happened to me before." Little by little, it happens. Like I'll be sitting down, I'll be like, "Oh, I want Little Caesars or something like that," you know? Little
Hmm.
Caesars pops up. You know, there's ads.
Okay, you got
I'll
a
search.
problem.
He said, "I gotta." No, but it's just like that. That's
it
crazy, bro.
it
That's
goes
really
off of what your
crazy.
phone picks up. So I'm sorry to say this. I'm sorry to do this to you guys, but dildos.
Wow. Why though? Why
You're gonna
though?
go on your internet browser.
They're so stupid, bro.
Everybody watching, you're fucked.
It's gonna be like the Mega Dome
Right?
5000. Like, what
The
the hell,
Super
bro?
Thruster 300.
I'm so
That's
dumb,
great.
bro.
Okay,
Damn.
so let's move on from a very serious, touchy subject to something more open and free. I'm not sure, Lex, if you might have heard about this. I know, Living, you did. Did you all the news going on with Triple X over the week?
Ooh.
No.
As far as, we'll start off with Vic Mensa. Who?
Oh,
Who? Who's
Vic
that?
Mensa. Who?
Who's that? Um,
Apparently, he's from Chicago, and I didn't even know this, and I live here. So,
yeah,
Mm.
don't know who that is. He's probably, oh, he's that crackhead that walks over by the church. Yeah, that's him. That has to be him.
always asking for $1.
He
If you
asking
make
for
him
a
holler.
dollar. Yeah, I just, I just need it, to get to.
Like, what, bro?
But yeah, so the disc came out, and he actually name dropped them.
Yeah,
That's
Triple X.
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Hmm.
I'm.
So,
We said it before. Me and Living are huge X fans,
yeah,
and I'm a firm. I mean, my girl will sit here and testify. I am a firm believer that it's not what you do, or in a better sense to say, it's not like that you fall. That's important, because a lot of people say, "Well, I fell and I got back up." Plenty of people can fall and get back up. What I want to know and what I care about is what you do after you get back up. That's what's important to
Yeah.
me. So
yeah,
after
yeah.
you fuck up, after you make your mistake, and after you come to terms with them, what do you do after? Because anybody can go out and kill somebody, do their time in jail, come out and live a good life. Did that person change? Who knows? But if a
No.
person kills somebody, goes to jail, regrets it, comes back out, and tries to give back to the community, or at least change young kids' lives, that's showing change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what matters to me. Because everybody in the world fucks up. Everybody in the world makes mistakes, but not everybody tries to fix them.
yeah. And obviously, those that are listening, if you don't know who we're obviously referring to when we say X, we're not talking about DMX. We're talking about XXX Tentacion.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody knows
Yeah,
this by
triple
now.
extension.
Triple extension, according to Lil Wayne, it's
Yeah,
triple
yeah.
extension.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he just had some issues at a like at a young age, like every person. Again, every person has their own story, their own life, their own thing. You do things to fuck up, and that's it. And I feel like exactly what Sam Pop said. It's not what you do. Like that is a good point, and I like that. That I fell down, and got back up, fell down, got back up, and it's like, okay, what are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna do something after you get back up, or are you gonna fall down again and get back up? Like, there has to
Yeah.
be a change. And with X, he fell down multiple times. Obviously, got back up, and when Step Up said, "I'm a firm like I'm like a huge fan," I am. But before I wasn't. Like I was like a straight hater, just the music generally, because I was like, why is he like this? Like, what is up with this kid? And when I listened to his story, I'm like, dang, this kid is putting all of his negative tendencies going to what we said, and he's putting it in a positive output.
Yep.
He's using all this negative energy, turning it into positive, and he's actually helping people out. Even though he fucked up, he's still doing that,
Yep.
you know?
And
And yeah, whatever happened with that chick, whatever, bro. Like that's it. That's done. It's been thrown out of the case, whatever. But going to Vic Mensa, it's like, how the fuck you gonna talk smack about somebody like that? Like
Yeah.
it's like shooting somebody in the head and still talking smack about him. Like you proved the point. Why are you still talking smack on the dude's grave? Like it just makes no sense. Like and Joe Budden said it well in his podcast. It was like I don't think you speaking of that person speaks the character of that person. It speaks your character.
Yep.
It really
Yep.
speaks a lot about yourself, like who you
About
are, how
yourself.
you yeah,
Yep.
how you carry yourself. And the way Vic Mensa did it, first people were like, well, I want to hear what he said. I want to hear what he said. I at that point I was like, I don't care, because one, he didn't deny it. He just apologized, quote unquote, apologized to his mom, to
yeah.
X's mom, to be specific, and was like, oh, I didn't know she was in the audience. It's like, what were you okay? And what if she wasn't? You still would have done it.
Yeah, and she still would have heard it.
If she still
Yep.
would have heard it, if X didn't win or whatever, she still would have heard it. Adam 22 would have heard it. All these people that were attached to X would have heard it.
It's just, man, to me it's so crazy, dude. Like, for one, to first, before we slide away from X, I tell my girl all the time, this dude, man, his range of music of man, dude, it's just crazy the stuff that he could do, right? And it's like, who was that? Um, his range of what he could do, and and the type of music he could bring and what he could say and how he could say it, what was really like a key factor in how good of an artist he was. But to say something else, it's so crazy how, like, in today's day and age, being this hardcore gangster rapper, talk about drugs, talk about, fucking bitches, this and that, is so accepted. But when it comes down to the gritty, and it comes down to it being true, people hate it.
Yep.
When you'll sit here and hear somebody say, "Oh yeah, yeah, I shoot him in the face, yeah, kill him, this, that, fuck his bitch, whatever," and then it comes the rapper beat up his wife. What? How could he ever beat up his wife? Motherfucker, he's rapping about it. That's what he's talking about. That's real life stuff. And if you notice, the best rappers back in the day, even now, I mean, Biggie, Tupac, shit, even the most influential people in the history have all had trouble past. Why do you
Yeah.
think that is? It's not like somebody lives a good life and they go on and do amazing stuff. Most of the time, it's the same thing with companies. Most of the time, it's the CEOs who didn't graduate high school. It's the CEOs that got their GED or didn't even do any of that that come out and they are the most successful because they have that drive, they have that reason to do better, to further themselves.
Hmm.
I mean, people like, I mean, I wouldn't say Kendrick didn't have a bad past, but it's not as severe as some of these other rappers. But he still talks about it, and it's not like you're listening to his music or Tupac's music to relate to it. You're listening to it for the story,
Yeah.
and that's what X's thing was. You listen to his albums, and he's talking about depression. He's talking about wanting to kill himself, and you can relate
Hmm.
to it. I feel
Yeah.
sad too. How do I go about it? listen to his music. You can relate to it, and that's the outlet that it is. Because
Yeah.
nobody talks about it nowadays. Nobody sits here and says, "Yes, I am depressed, and I don't know how to get help." Nobody will say that.
Hmm.
You know
Yeah, I mean
that
that same way with J. Cole. J. Cole like spit the same image. Like
that's
you can
true. Yeah,
like,
J Cole's the same way.
yeah, he was real about shit. You could listen to his music and like relate yourself to that shit, and like you knew like it's all right.
Yeah, you
There's
can
like
get through it and
somebody
stuff.
Yeah,
who's
and
living the
there's
same
other
thing or
rappers
went through the same thing.
that you can't relate to. But let me tell you something. When Lollipop came out, I felt that. I felt that.
You stupid. He said it licked me like a lollipop. Bruh, bruh, please. You know you in a hotel by yourself. I ain't trying
Didn't
to play
Kanye
with you.
West hop on a remix for that?
Did he?
He said something like, "It's nacho cheese."
What?
Oh yeah, yeah, bruh. Oh my god! If you listen to all the music back in the day, you're like, man, this bumps. Listen to the lyrics, you're like, it's not much different to like the mumble rap we
Bro,
have nowadays,
Nelly.
bro.
People was for real bumping.
Yes,
Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa puff. Pass it to me now.
yeah,
Like, what the
yeah, yeah,
fuck?
yeah,
Girl, shake that
yeah, bro.
tail feather. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, let me.
The
Oh, is
one
it
song
Laffy
when
Taffy?
when people tell me, and I constantly get into arguments with old heads, as you could say, when they tell me
Yeah.
music back in the day that was real shit. I said, really, Ice Ice Baby is Hammer Time? Seriously, you fucking kidding me right now? The real rappers back in the day, those are the gangsters, really. Mm-hmm. Ice T plays cops all the time now. Really, gangsta? You serious?
Hey, don't
For
put no
real.
disrespect on his name,
Put some respect on it, bro.
All
Three
three of
times.
y'all.
Oh,
um,
uh,
but yeah,
that's
it's
funny.
it's and to speak on that more, it's like you have these rappers. Obviously, you're always gonna have those lyrical rappers, but that's the thing is, and I give full 100% credit to Lil Wayne for changing the way music is now because Lil Wayne used to be one of those rappers. You know what I mean?
Lyrical, yeah.
Yup.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he changed because for better or for worse, he saw an opportunity, and you got to think about it. You know, it's money to be made, and that's what he did. And he changed his sound, and people rocked with it, and now people branched off of that. And nowadays, before it was rare to find people who would like
Auto
around,
tune
yeah,
and
auto tune
stuff,
and all that.
yeah.
Then like T Pain and Lil Wayne and them made it popular. And
Yep.
nowadays it's
Hmm.
hard to find real rappers now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing, especially like people that like to listen to lyrical stuff. Trust me, there's a lot of channels out there that you can sit there and just listen to a bunch of lyrical people.
Yeah.
But eventually, I'm gonna be honest. Eventually, you get tired of it because all these underground rappers. I'm not trying to throw shade, but it's like I'm broke. I'm trying to pay my rent and I'm trying to make it. Like legit, that's what underground rappers talk about. And then we, as like people that love lyrical rappers, we're like, man, we tired of hearing that titty and money and strip clubs. And I'm like, bro, but our stuff says the same thing because we talk about trying to make it. I'm trying to, buy my mama a house and stuff like that. It's like it's the same thing over and over and over again. Like, there's no new story, bro. It
It's
really
it's
isn't.
it's
Yeah,
like
it's just a different style.
Yeah.
That's literally all it
it's
is.
like an artist. I like this artist. He's a very lyrical rapper.
Don't say Lil
It's
Pump. I will slap you.
no, it's not Lil Pump. It's Gucci Mane. No, I'm just playing.
He's gonna be like Kid Boo.
um, it's YBN Corday. In one of his songs, he says he's talking like about old heads, and he's saying
Mhm.
like, how you gonna hate us for trying to do the same thing that you're doing that you were trying to do back in the day, which is pretty much like I'm trying to make a name for myself. I'm trying to feed my family. I'm trying to make some money, and you're hating on the newer age now for trying to do that and finding their own way of doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I speaking of that, I got a problem I need to bring up.
What? What? Uh
Um,
oh.
I'm tired of these fucking old heads expecting us young people to fucking like, and if we don't like, at least listen to Tupac. Because
Oh,
I'll be
please.
100% with you. I have listened to maybe 5 songs between Tupac
Bro.
and Biggie both, And
But
people assume because you don't listen to them, you don't know music.
bruh, I only listen to their popular songs. Changes and I forgot Biggie's, but yeah, that's how much that's how much it tells you about music in general. It's like
It's
I guess you
crazy,
could
dude. If you don't,
do
if
it.
you come
It
out and you say like I don't really listen to them, they're like, what's wrong with you? What
like
is
the
wrong
disres.
with you?
Yeah,
It's
and they
like
think you're disrespecting them.
yeah,
Like
it's
you're
like dude, it's just
disrespecting
not my
their
cup
work.
of tea. It's not. I'm not fond of it. Um, I'm not really me personally. I'm more of a like melody type of guy. I like more of like R&B and like melodic type shit. That's just
Yeah,
me. I can listen to
yeah,
this rap shit. I can listen to this, um, like serious stuff. But at the end of the day, I like more of like the singing in the auto tune. That's just me. You
yeah,
know,
Yeah.
yeah.
I ain't grow up in the fucking ghetto. I ain't grow up needing to eat fucking cheese and
Ramen
bread.
noodles.
Yeah, that's not me. Okay, I was brought up pretty
Yeah.
nice. Not rich or anything by any means, but I had
I
toilet
was
paper to wipe
broke.
my ass. All right, so there's that.
I was broke. I needed to eat. I had bologna the whole
I
time,
used to
bruh.
suck dick for $20. I seen them.
Oh,
I seen them.
No.
stupid. You stupid, bro.
Is anybody getting in on this 1.6 billion mega millions?
Oh no, no. I
What's
told my
that?
girl I was like,
Oh,
dude, let's put $100 on it. She's like, nope. I'm like, stay broke then. Nah,
You said no living?
hell no, man. You know how much money I'm gonna be? I'm gonna be broke. What you mean, bro? Before I even win the money, I'm gonna owe the people money, like straight up. It's
All it
so
takes is one.
expensive to
All
live.
it is. What do you mean?
yeah, just
A
imagine if you're
dollar,
yeah, imagine if you're one of
bruh.
those people
It's
that
two.
is two,
It's
but
two.
imagine if you're one of those people who just buys one ticket just because everybody's buying it and you win.
Exactly.
I mean, but the
You could
odds of
spend them
that,
$2 getting chickens from
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. That's why I told my girl like if I was to get tickets, I wouldn't go with no one, two. I'd buy like as much as $100, $200 could buy, and if I lose
yeah.
out, I'm like that's worth it. I'll be more
I
bummed
don't know
like
about that.
I'll be more bummed if I spend $2 on a ticket, and I'm like the whole time like man, this is my lucky ticket. It's my lucky ticket. Hell yeah, I'm gonna win. Like, oh fuck, I ain't win. Man, dude, this I could have bought this and that with it. But if I spent 200, I was like I increased my odds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you could still win 200, or you could still win $50, or
Yeah, because that's my thing now that I tell people is I used to play scratch tickets, and I was talking
Yeah,
to my brother about this the other day, telling him how like my sister told me she's like I told her how I want to get into scratch tickets again, and she's like you're dumb, you're stupid, you're wasting your money. I said you're stupid if you waste your money on the lotto. I mean you're literally just gambling with chance, and
yeah,
there is no factors of helping your chances out. There's none. But if you play a scratch off ticket, there's actually a lot of things you could do to help your chances in winning. And like a lot of people don't do this or don't know this. If you go to the website, it'll tell you what scratch tickets are left.
hmm
So let's say it's lucky number sevens, right?
hmm
Let's say you want to go win. You go to your gas station, you look at which ones they have, you ask them what they have in stock. He tells you we got lucky sevens. Go online, you can look at your gas station, you can look at the odds that are left for that ticket, for that scratch ticket, and it'll tell you, oh, there's still a million, there's still 100,000, there's still 10,000. Buy the ticket.
yeah,
It'll tell you all we have is five, 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 a 10 and a 50. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to spend your money on it and to keep spending your money on it. So what I would
yeah.
yeah,
do all the time was I would look into it in the gas station that I was going to, and then on top of that, I buy three of the same ticket because I watched a video of some guy who would continuously win scratch off tickets, and he said that the one mistake people make is they buy different tickets each time they go.
Yep.
So you
oh
go
wow,
like, let me get five tickets, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and then they're like, your odds reset each time you get a ticket. But if you buy five of the same ticket, your odds stack. And one time, one of my girlfriends, or my fiancées, I should say, before I get yelled at on the stream, um, one of her brother-in-laws called me dumb for buying tickets,
yeah,
and I literally bought a ticket that night. Went home. It was like 11 or 12, and I decided to scratch it, and I won like 150. And I sent him a picture. He's like, "Good lord!" I was like, "Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna go." He's like, "You're probably gonna waste it. Go buy more." Like a week later, I went to go buy another $20 ticket, and I won
Yeah.
200 off of that.
Mm,
Damn.
damn.
He was like, "Hey, you gotta teach me." I'm like, "There's nothing to teach. You just do some research, pretty much. You know what I mean?"
Yeah, yeah. I've never
Oh,
gambled at that point. So I really don't have anything. I know my grandpa does it, but like this man's I remember one time this man's literally was a number off to win the lottery. I was like, bruh, why you do this? Like I don't understand why you keep doing this. I'm that kind of person. Like, I don't see the purpose in it, but at the same time, it's like a lot. I guess it's good, you know,
Sometimes I tell
for
myself, like
people.
Lex said, it's like I'm a chicken from McDonald's. But then it's like you tell yourself, like I would tell myself, all right, I'll get this, and I won't get a McChicken from McDonald's. But my fat ass always go back and get that McChicken from McDonald's.
boy.
I don't know.
I'm like, I'll skip out this time, but you know what? Fuck it.
I'll still get one
I'm there eating the McChicken with sauce on the side of my lips.
with your ticket in your hand.
Like, damn it, I lost again.
It's so funny, man.
Hey, so um, one of the things I was thinking about was how your boy Treyway got
Oh
these
Treyway,
no.
got these hearings
suck
this
my
week.
dick with your mother's lips, stupid. And we're back. What were we saying?
Know how he's got all these hearings this week. So he's got one tomorrow in Brooklyn for the misdemeanor
Oh man.
on the police officer. He's got one Thursday in Texas for the misdemeanor for the teenager thing. And then he's got one Friday in Manhattan for the use of a child in the sexual performance. So there's a likely case that he
This
may
man will be
be.
in jail.
Yes.
They're trying really hard, but I'll tell you what, right now, it's
The
very
power.
it's very telling to me, and it shows me a lot that he has not been charged with anything yet, and he's been fucking up a lot because
Yeah.
the prosecutors till this day keep saying that he's fucking up. They keep throwing all this shit at him, and for some reason, the judge, not that he doesn't seem to, because you know what? Let me tell you something. 6ix9ine is a troll, but whoever manages him, whoever runs his shit, is a smart motherfucker, man. Because let me
Yeah.
tell you something. Had he fought this straight on from the moment it came, he would have went to jail for years. The fact that whoever's helping him, whoever's running him, whoever's managing him, is continuously setting the date back helps him. Because if you noticed, he hasn't been beefing with nobody. He beefed with 50 Cent, but it was on some joking stuff.
Yeah.
He hasn't been really
Yeah.
beefing with nobody. He has not been getting in trouble. Why? Because he's setting the dates back to make a timeline to show, like, look, I haven't gotten in trouble. Look, I'm doing good. Look,
Man, why you have to go out there and saying it, man, bro?
what do you
Now
mean?
the court's gonna see this and they're gonna be like,
I'm just saying,
"You
hey,
going
that's
to
smart,
jail,
bro.
bro?"
That's very very smart. And you know what? I can speak from personal experience. When I had my court when I was younger, I went to court from when I was 17 till I was like 21, 22.
Oh man.
5 years, dude. It was like 4 or 5 years I went to court, and they were trying to give me 3 to 5 years. I was like, dude, how am I gonna do 3 to 5 years? Like, it's not crazy because I was like, young at the time. I was like my 20s, early 20s, and I was like, it's not gonna be crazy. But I had my girl at the time, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, I'm gonna lose her. I'm gonna lose my job, everything. Like, pretty much go back to ground zero.
Mm-hmm.
Kept saying I got a lawyer, was paying him $500, expensive as fuck. He kept pushing it back, pushing it back, and I was like, this man's trying to get money off of me. That's all he's trying to do. All he kept telling me was stay out of trouble, do not get in trouble. As a matter of fact, go do your community service, get your community service done in the meantime. Go do some charity, do something. Come back and you'll be fine. I did everything.
Yeah.
I came back, and they just ended up giving me 2 weeks in jail. Well, a month, but with good time.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks.
Good time. He was
This
in there mopping them floors,
No, not
mopping them
that. It's
floors,
well,
and
it's
picking up
called
them trays.
every day counts as 2 days.
ah,
If you go to jail, every day counts as 2 days. If you it's well, not it doesn't, but it has the option to. So for me, I was supposed to be in there for a month, but every day, so 24 hours, it was every 12 hours will count as a day.
man.
Hey man, you learn something new every day. Let me tell you something right now. Don't go to jail. They got some booty ticklers in there. Do not go to jail.
Oh no, I'm staying the
But yeah,
fuck away
six
from jail.
nine's team is very smart, and I think at this point he's gonna get years. It's just a matter of how many, and I think he's gonna get maybe one or two. I'm really confident in saying he might get like 1 to 2 years at the most four,
Damn, how you go from 1, 2 to 4?
because that's max.
That's max.
Yeah, like me, my minimum was 3 to 5. So minimum's 3, maximum's 5. So for him would be like 1 or 2 years, max 4.
How does that make sense though? Because of his what he's being charged for.
Yeah, because the misdemeanors are probably gonna get dropped.
Mm-hmm.
The
They're
mis-
probably trying to go for him for the heavier stuff.
yeah,
You
they're
know.
trying to go for the heavier shit because the misdemeanors he wouldn't even have to go to jail. They
Mm-hmm.
they keep repeating themselves and saying that they want him to go to jail. They want jail time for his ass. So that means they're gonna try to hit him with that heavier thing, and that's what they're focused on. So they're probably gonna drop these smaller things and tell him either he'll do. It's so much stuff you could do when it comes to that stuff, man. It just he could potentially. I mean, you saw the first time. This isn't the first time he's been to court for this whole the younger girl thing. I mean, he got out the first time with just having to get his GED.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so he'll find some way. I mean, he's famous, so he'll find some way.
He said he's famous.
He's famous.
Lex, Living sent me a video earlier. I doubt he sent it to you because he just found it like not even an hour ago.
Oh no,
Uh-oh.
It's
no.
a video actually getting very popular right now.
The white on white.
Yeah, I seen it on Twitter like an
Oh
hour before you
no.
showed me because I was looking at some Fortnite stuff. And an hour
Yeah.
before you showed me, I seen
Yeah.
it, but I didn't watch it, and
Yeah.
I thought it was just some joke shit. But
No.
then Living
Are
sent
you,
it to me, and I watched it. Living, did you read up on what it was about?
It was about a stupid mattress, bro.
Yes.
It was about a mattress. So what happened was there was these two neighbors, right? One was a couple, and the other one was a couple, I think.
No, it was a dad and a son.
A dad and a son. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call them a couple. I'm not trying to get
They
these
could be.
people getting. Yeah, man. They look, man. They were not wearing a shirt, bro. Like they were out there, bellies out.
Speaking of that, before you guys we venture off, I told my girl I don't know what country it was or what. I think it was like something with the S, Seguay or some shit like that. I forgot
Segoy?
something like that. But they legalized a whole bunch of stuff for transgenders, dude.
What?
Yeah, they made it legal for transgenders in their area to classify as whatever they want. They could be male, female, whatever. They made it legal
Dang.
for them to change their name without a judge's approval.
Oh, damn.
They legalized 1% of the jobs that are out have to be reserved for transgenders. And then the craziest part to me was they made it where transgenders operations and medical treatment is all paid for by the state.
Oh my god.
So catch me with some brand new titties next week, motherfucker.
Dude, I was waiting. I was like, wait, we should go with this. Hold up. You always got something up your sleeve, bro.
Yeah. Uruguay? Yeah, maybe.
Uruguay, yeah.
So,
No,
yeah,
but so basically what happened was one neighbor put a mattress in another neighbor's like property, but like if you look at it, it's like alleyway. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they all put the garbage in one side, right? Especially like the bigger stuff. But what happened was a father and son came out and they were threatening the husband and wife with a gun, and the other guy had a shotgun. And I'm being legit serious. And the first minute and a half, it's like a 2 minute video, and it's the wife recording of what's going on. I'm over here thinking, because I've seen previously in my mind, I've seen Trailer Park Boys, and I've seen some stupid, crude humor, like people walking out of their homes, out of the trailers with no shirt, and doing like gestures, like, like suck my dick, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, and the guy that was holding the shotgun did the whole hand jizz movement, like masturbation movement. So I was like, okay, this is a funny video. And they're talking smack, and then the guy, the husband, was talking smack, like pointed at me, because the father had a pistol. He had I would say a Glock. It was like a 9mm. It was a little tiny little thing, bro, because the dude was like big as hell. And then the other guy was in the back with a shotgun in his back, thinking he about to go shoot some zombies and stuff. And long story short, the dude got so aggressive, the husband, that the wife got in front of him. He said, "You're not gonna shoot my husband." Again, thinking it's a funny joke. It wasn't. The father shot the husband, and then the husband was still standing, throws a bat at the father, the neighbor, at his neighbor, and then the guy who did the hand gesture thing with the shotgun just blew his brains out, just right then and there.
What?
Yeah, although he already had three holes in his body, dude was big, so he took him,
Yeah.
and he swung the bat and hit the guy, and then the guy behind him just boom,
Yep.
just blew him, and the lady got out of the way. And it's sad to say this, because it goes back to like the whole Vic Mensa thing, but that's what I was talking about. Like, how are you gonna kill somebody and still talk smack? The old dude that had the pistol was like, "Look at your husband now, face down on the floor."
Yep.
Told him.
And
I'm like,
yeah,
what?
And the wife was like, Aaron.
Like,
Oh my God.
I thought at first it was a joke.
Yeah,
But
me
bro,
too.
when you pause the video,
Yes.
you see this dude's brain. Oh my God!
I need this video sent to me like before this happened.
Yeah,
Like I need it now.
It's
I'll
crazy,
I'll
dude.
send it to you. I'll send it to you.
I
Now,
seen it, like I said, I seen it, and then I showed my girl, and she was like, "What the hell?" And I was like, "Dude, like," and again, not trying to talk too much into race, but it's two white guys, and it's like, realistically, if there was a white guy and a black guy, and the white guy had the gun, black dude would just stop, because he knows more than likely that he's gonna get shot. And this white guy, even though he had two people with guns in front of him, the white guy was like,
Shotgun
"You're
and
not
pistol.
doing shit, buddy."
Yeah, no, yeah, and he was like, "You're a dead man.
Yup.
You're a dead man. You hear me?" And the white guy's like, the dude is wearing has the gun, the pistol, is like, "Doubt it."
Yep.
Well,
Doubt
duh,
it.
because the other dude had a freaking bat, and the dude had a pistol. I would have been the same. Doubt it, bro. You got a bat, bro. I got a 9mm. I just put a hole in, like, really, like, you're gonna threaten me when I have a gun, bro? Really?
That's what I'm telling you. Like, it's crazy. Like, the dude was claiming to shoot the guy with the bat, right?
Yeah.
Then the dude with the bat's like, he's threatening these people, like, "I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you."
See,
And then they
that's
keep
where you messed
telling
up.
him, "Come within 3 feet of me, and I'll kill you. Come within 3 feet of me, and I'm gonna shoot you." He's like, "No, you won't." And he came within 3 feet, and they killed him. I mean, both the father and the son, both got charged with murder. But you can't get your husband back, and you're not coming back from that. Like, was it worth
Yeah.
it? No. And to
And
me,
the wife-
it was like a pride thing, and it was like a just nonsense thing. You got to know when to stop. You got to know when
Yeah.
to stop and when to do certain things. And this guy just felt like he was untouchable, and you seen what happened.
Yeah, because it's like what I was telling my brother earlier. It's like when you hear, again, I'm not really trying to talk about race. I'm sorry if this is anybody gets offended, but it's just like when people say white on white crime, you see the memes everywhere, and it's like just people pushing each other, and then later on hugging each other, and then arguing with each other again. It's a meme, Like, you don't really see people argue, like white people argue or killing each other, but when you do, it's serious,
Mm-hmm.
And when I seen the caption and I seen the first minute and a half, I'm like, oh, this is a funny video. Because again, we're programmed in our minds like these dudes ain't finna do nothing.
Yep.
There's a show called, Trailer Park Boys. All they do is talk smack. They got guns out, and then they all just go home. Nobody shoots nobody. but it was just an embarrassment. They just pushed and shoved and said all these obscene cuss words and all that, and then that was it. But with the last 10 seconds, you're like, what? Like it actually happened? Like this dude actually died.
Yep.
Like right in front. And my thing was, okay, the dude messed up. He dead now. But like, what did where was the wife? Like
She kind of jumped in and told him you're not going to do nothing, and then she got in front of it like thinking that was going to stop him, and the husband.
she should have
Maybe
just
because the wife got in front, the husband was like, "You're not gonna aim the gun at my wife or anything," and he started swinging. I don't know, but she just
she moved out of the way for some
yeah.
reason. And
As soon
obviously
as
it's the
shots started
husband.
popping, she didn't block her husband. She completely got out the way. Even when she
Yeah.
knew they shot him, she knew he was shot. She had to have known he was dead. She didn't start crying or complaining until she saw his fucking brains on the floor. That's when she started crying.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like,
Yeah.
why did
That's
you
all
even get?
shock though.
Yeah, but why did you even get in the way? Like, if I see my girl or if I see one of my family members arguing, I'm not gonna step into like you're not doing shit. I'm like, dude, let's fucking go. It's not worth
Yeah,
it.
because if they have a gun, yeah, if they have the
Worst
gun,
case
you have to
scenario,
be
you die.
serious.
Best case scenario, you walk out of here fine. I mean, which one would you fucking choose?
I'd rather live. Like
Yeah.
honestly, I'd rather
I'd be
get
like,
out
call
and
me a
live.
pussy, bro. I'm not dead. Call me a pussy. I'm good.
I'm still making my money,
I'm gonna
bro.
go eat my McChicken. Fuck you talking about? Buy a scratch ticket.
Scratch off, yeah, for real. But that's what I'm saying, bro. And it's sad because it's like I actually researched into this and I was like, let me see if this is real because it looks so fake. Because I'm
Yeah,
telling
it
you, this
does.
dude is doing like the masturbation hand gesture. Like you see this in video games.
He's
You
like, you're
see this
lucky you're
as a
not my son. He's like, fuck you.
yeah, and he was like, "Jag off," and I'm like, "Okay, this is funny," but then it really is not because that's evidence. Like a
Yeah.
man died, and it's my thing is why are you trying to act so tough in front of like that's a whole male thing I think or the alpha male per
It
se.
is.
It's like you're trying to act tough in front of your wife. My dude, you had kids. Where you at now, bro?
Yeah, which
Like
it ended up being that they weren't even his kids; it was his nieces and nephews, and that's why he got mad because the people with no shirts on were continuously putting that mattress at that garbage site, which I don't even think it was theirs. It was just in
yeah,
an alley. So when
yeah,
they first found out they put the mattress there, they took it out and put it back in their yard. And the next day, these people went with the no shirts, put the mattress back, and then these people took it back, and the dudes with no shirts put it back, and that's when they had that confrontation. And the nieces and the nephew said, "Hey, he's taking it back." So they all went out there, and he drew the gun. He's like, "You're gonna draw me with my kids," which is his nieces and his nephews, and that's why he was so defensive. It was his wife and his kids there. But I
yeah.
mean, it's like it's crazy to see, dude. It really is crazy to see because as honest as it is, you don't really see this white on white crime like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really
Yeah, you
don't, and it just goes to show you like it's for the not for the better, but for the most part, it's not really a race thing; it's a person thing.
Yeah,
You
that
know?
was a neighbor and neighbor
Yeah,
crime, if you really want to like say it,
yeah,
because it's like there had. My thing is there had to be more, bro.
yeah,
Like, there's no freaking way it was, and if it was over a mattress, oh my god, bro! Like
yeah. Like that's
that's the
I get it though.
dumbest thing ever, bro.
I get it
Like,
because when I lived with my sister, we have a neighbor there, and this dude's a Vikings fan. So right off the back, he's not gonna like us because we're Bears fans. But when I first moved there, I was skinny, right? That was years ago, and I would cut the yard without a shirt on, and this dude called the cops on us for that.
what?
Yeah, he called the cops
Wow.
and said that he doesn't want us like that, and the cop told us quit cutting the yard with your shirts off. We're like, okay, whatever. That's kind of weird. And then we left it. We didn't know who it was, but then the cop. What happened was the cops came, said people are complaining you guys are cutting with your shirts off. We thought it was him, and then we told the cops, well, he cuts with his shirts off, and the cops like, well, we didn't get a complaint for that, so just quit doing it. So then
Yeah,
like a couple weeks later, we had a Chihuahua, and this dog was barking outside, and the cops came and said, "We heard that your dog's making a loud, causing a distraction." And then I was like, "Which dog?" And then you see him go to the neighbor, ask him which dog, and I said Chihuahua. And the same cop came. He said, "Listen, I'm letting you guys know right now. It looks like this guy has a problem with you. Whatever it is that he has a reason to call, he's going to. So if I was you guys, just try to stay out of his way for a bit. Let him whatever's going through him, let it kind of go down." and just be careful. So for the most part, everything was cool till like a month later. The same neighbor complained about our garbage cans being outside of our garage and not inside. And
But that,
the way that little like division worked was they all have their community and they all agreed and it's a rule to put your garbage cans inside your garage. So the cops came and he
mhm.
said, "Look, he's calling us for anything now. Seriously, whatever." So me, being the fucking evil person that I am, I knew he would call over anything. So what I did was in our front yard, right around the corner, um, there's a fire hydrant.
Mhm.
So I measured 15 feet. And right outside of 15 feet, I would park. And not even kidding you, almost every day he would call the cops. Until one day,
Damn.
the cops came, measured my car, said that I'm at 16 feet or whatever it was. I was one over. And said they legally cannot do anything about it. And I kept parking there, kept parking there, kept parking there. Just to prove a point to this fucking guy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so I when I saw this and it was just a mattress, I believed it because that's how petty things can get.
Yeah, and it's just like I've never been at that point,
Oh,
you know?
I mean, it'll happen with
Never.
family. It'll happen with friends. I mean, it gets petty,
Oh,
dude.
family, yeah. Yeah, family, yeah, but I'm talking about like between neighbors, like I never would have thought cuz again, like you've been through it, like you've been through petty neighbors and stuff like that, them calling the cops and stuff like that whole thing, you've been through it. Me, I watched some stupid crude humor shows and that's why I was like, "Man, this is funny." Like this is nothing gonna happen. And it's like that meme that I showed you about the baby. He's laughing, then instantly just starts getting scared.
Yeah,
That was legit me, bro.
yeah,
Because
me
I'm like,
too.
I
I
was
was
so
like,
confused,
I was there like
bro.
fucking rednecks, dude. I was like, he was
Serious,
there like, you're not my son. I was like,
you
what the
look
fuck? And
for real.
then I heard the
You're
gunshots
not
and I
my
was like,
son.
what the fuck?
No,
I told my girl like, oh, look
no.
at this shit, dude. Yeah, dude, that shit was
Yeah,
crazy. You definitely
that's
got
what I
you
was.
definitely got to send it to her when we get done with the podcast.
Yeah. So it's like, that really threw me off, and I was just like, man. So I guess this is gonna be on the news, and little did I know, I was like, I sent it to you, and I would say 30 minutes later, it was shown on Twitter, like the trending thing, and I was like, dang, so this is for real, like, but man, obviously condolences to the family, but like, bruh, why?
Yeah, no, it's definitely not something you see every day, and it's something weird to see. But
I mean, it'll life goes on. Not to be rude,
hey, man,
life
it
goes
does.
on.
It really does, man. That's what's crazy. My girl was talking to me about that whole thing that's happening in Guatemala. You guys have
I
not
heard,
heard? I'm about to
I
say, bro.
bro, I heard. No, I can't sit here. I've heard something that my grandma
Lex,
was
have
saying, but
you?
he's dropping on it.
No.
Oh my god.
What? Just
I was
say,
thinking we're gonna end this podcast soon. It doesn't look like we're going to. Okay, so
no.
in Guatemala, what's happening is like their government's pretty much gone to shit and is being taken
Uh huh.
over by gangsters. Like cartel. Like just
Cartel stuff.
it's being
Yeah.
taken over. So the people are like being forced to pay money to live there, being forced to do this and that, being forced to do things they don't want to do. So the people all gathered up and they left and they're on a march to the US border. And
What?
it wasn't too much of a problem, like it was getting popular and everything. But what really made it blow up over the weekend was they reached Mexico and Mexico put up like a border for them not to cross, like pretty much telling them you're not going to cross, and they just knocked it the fuck down.
No.
Yeah, they just
What?
completely knocked it the fuck down, went over, and Trump told Mexico like you're gonna help us with this, like you need to help us with this, and Mexico did. And the big storyline was Mexico is taking people in. They took in people, and you're like, good, Mexico's helping this and that, and then it says they're only taking in mothers and kids,
Children.
right?
Yep.
So the big story is Mexico's helping whatever. I read into it. They only brought in 15 people out of 4,000. I think it was 4,000.
Wow.
15 people. And now, since they
Man.
seen that it's kids being taken in the parent, people are stealing kids to get saved. They're kidnapping kids to go and say, "This is me and my son. Save us." Oh, there's no mother. It's the father and the son. Okay, come on. We can't let the kid come in himself.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad, bro.
It is.
That's really sad.
It is. My girl was saying it's sad, and I tell her, that's why, like, for the most part, I like to stay on top of what's happening, but I don't like
Mhm.
to dig too deep into it because yes, there may be something I can do, but to the point where it'll make a huge, huge difference like that, I might not have the commitment to do that, or she might not, or most
Yeah.
people won't. And it's like, for the most part, you're gonna sit here and be like, it's sad, and it's like I told my girl exactly what you said. It's like life goes on, but it's sad to see, you know.
Mhm.
And I was telling my girl
Mhm.
is that Trump saying like I told my girl like it's in a really bad situation now because if it was Obama, Obama could say, all right, we'll take some people in.
Yeah.
We'll take some
Yeah.
people in. We'll do what we can. But what Trump's main fucking thing is, we're not taking nobody in, no more immigrants. So now he has to kind of deny them. And if they try to come in on pushing some border type shit, who knows where that'll go?
No,
Yep.
well, I don't know if obviously if you guys know of the border. Speaking more on that is it's dangerous, bro.
Well,
Especially the Mexico and U.S. border is very dangerous, just because there was like a bunch of documentaries I would say about the U.S. border. Even the U.S. like the History Channel will do them,
mm-hmm.
and they're as dangerous as like let's say Texas, for instance. You're coming through Texas, bruh. Like there's no laws out there like that could prevent anyone to shoot anybody. And yeah, of course, murder is murder and stuff like that. But there was a lot of cases that I was when I was looking at it, and it's sad to say um, that it was a lot of people, like a lot of Mexican people killing a lot of Mexican people for no reason, just because they were crossing the border or whatever. Or it was like people that own land down in Texas, they were crossing their land to get to U.S., shot them, or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they would go to court, they're like, "Well, I defended my nation and I defended myself." They came at like 9 o'clock at night, and I couldn't see, and I didn't know if they had a gun, so I shot them. But most people just do it, and that's just people, that's just residents. But if we're talking the U.S. border itself, bro, I've heard like seen stories and heard stories as well of like they got towers, bro, with snipers, and if they see you, you out. Like if you don't listen to the what is it, ICE here in the United States,
Yeah.
if you don't listen to immigration, if you refuse, they'll shoot you. They don't care. Like they'll shoot you, and that's it. And it's just like, man, will it get to that point that all these people are trying to look for refuge, and it's going to get to that point? But at the same time, it goes back to what we're saying. This topic is only going to be trendy for a couple of days, maybe a week, who knows, and then life goes on. And it just sucks because it gets to that point. I can even say, like, where are the two kids that were talking about gun violence in schools?
They're
Like
FBI. They were FBI implants.
that's what bruh.
They're
You serious
planted.
right now? This
They're
boy's gonna be like Illuminati confirmed. All
Gucci
right,
Mane
that
is a
was
clone.
for real. He's about to say X ain't even really
Um,
dead though.
you
Like what?
stupid. Um, there's a movie I watched. I don't know what it's called. I couldn't tell you for the life of me. All I know it's with the dude that plays Negan in Walking Dead, and it's a movie about a guy from America. He's full on American, reps America, this all America, and he goes on the border and looks for Mexicans and kills them that are trying to cross over.
It's called
What?
uh
It is a crazy movie. It's good. It's kind of
desert.
creepy.
I think it's desert or desierto. It's in
I
Spanish,
don't
I
know,
think.
dude. I
Yeah,
saw it
because
in
it's like
English,
yeah.
but
It's a
it's a
whole
good
group,
movie.
and then they all die, right? It was a whole group that came to Mexico, and it was actually revolving about one guy, and at the end it was one guy and one girl that actually made it out alive.
Yeah,
Yeah, I seen that one. It was very. I seen that one. It was super intense, and I was like, man. But the crazy thing is, like, I showed that to my grandparents, and like, they obviously they're citizens, but they crossed back in the day, and when I showed it to them, they're like, oh yeah. Like it was just a normal thing to them. And
Mm-hmm.
they say that they had to duck people that were vigilantes. That's what they called them back in the day, vigilantes of America. And they also had to dodge ICE. And it's just like, dang. And that goes to show you, like, now, like my generation, bro, how, like, we're taking advantage of what our ancestors did for us, bro.
Yeah.
Like, man, if we went through that, I don't think we would have survived. I don't. Nah, there's
It's
no way.
I bet you a lot of people think like that. It's just a matter of being put in that situation, you know. And I say
Yeah.
that because you ever see that movie where that guy cuts off his arm because his arm gets stuck under a rock?
Oh yes, I seen
I
that
don't
one. I
think
was like, yeah.
personally, I don't think I could ever cut off my fucking arm. But if I was ever faced with a situation and I know it's either that or die, I'm doing it.
Mhm.
But I don't think I physically right now somebody like I don't think I would feel okay mentally doing it. But when it came down to it, adrenaline's hitting and it's do or die.
Mhm.
You know, I think I would have the balls to do it.
The huevos. I don't have
But
the
look,
huevos.
here's a little feel good story that me and my girlfriend saw this, and this blew my mind, bro. This honestly blew my mind. My girl was like, I jumped up screaming. I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. There's
What?
a show on Netflix right now, right?
Mhm.
It's called First Day In for Last Day Out. Have you guys heard
Never
about
heard of
it?
it.
No.
Oh.
No.
Um, it's a show where they track people's first day in jail, like being processed, and the whole process that goes with it, and then it
Uh huh.
tracks people's last day in jail where they get out, right?
Oh wow.
So like
Mhm.
the first episode, it's like um these two girls are getting taken out. One of them is like a meth addict. The other one like does like a whole bunch of drugs, and
Mhm.
there's like a mixed one that hasn't seen her grandma in like 3 years because every time she comes, she's in jail. She finally gets to see her grandma.
Oh, I seen that. I seen it. Her grandma's German.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
she ends up doing drugs anyway.
yeah, and she leaves. You know, so it just tracks it
Yep.
right. Well, I just saw the third episode, and the third episode, um, the third episode is about a Mexican guy who got arrested for driving without a license, right?
Hmm.
Oh, I thought somebody left. He's driving without a license. He gets pulled over. He gets arrested. He gets taken to jail, right? And then he's asking for a bond, and they tell him no bond, right? So he's like, "Damn, what's gonna happen?"
Oh yeah.
So through the whole episode, this dude ends up going through the whole immigration process, and they end up deporting him, right? He ends up
Yeah.
serving 6 months or 4 months in jail, and then they deport him. But he does a voluntary leave, which I never knew about this. I never knew about this until this episode. It's if you go to court and you try to fight leaving, it's mandatory. You have to stay in Mexico 10 years before you can even come back. But if you voluntarily leave, it's 4 years.
Oh wow.
Wait, what do you mean?
So if let's say you get arrested, right?
Yeah.
You can fight it. It's like a regular case. If you kill somebody, you can fight it, and there's a chance you can win, but there's also a chance you could lose and get the maximum years, or you can take a plea and do a minimal amount of years over doing the max, right? So they gave him the choice.
Mhm.
You can fight your case here and tell us why you need to be in America, and
Mhm.
hopefully you win, or you can voluntarily say, all right, you know what? I'm letting myself get deported, and you can come back in 4 years. So it's either 4 or 10. So he
Oh, but you're
chose,
talking about somebody who's an immigrant though, right?
yeah. So this dude was saying that he needs to be in America because he was marrying a white girl. He was about to get married.
Yep.
He had the ring bought and everything. At the end of the episode, he gets deported, and I tell my girl, that's it. It's a wrap. They over. They ain't getting married. She is not going to wait 4 years. Bro, at the end of the fucking episode, this chick moves to Mexico with him.
What?
Bro, this white chick has
Yes.
never lived in Mexico. Doesn't know, probably doesn't even know Spanish. She moved to Mexico with him and his grandma, and she's staying over there for 4 years so he can come back to America.
No
Yes,
way.
that's
Dude, I told
loyal.
my girl, that is a fucking goon. I was like, you can't tell me shit. That literally blew my mind.
Yep.
Dude,
That is insane.
you should watch that episode. It is crazy, dude.
Wow. Uh,
It's
that's a
dude. The white girl. She's like, you look at her. She's like straight up white, like Starbucks, UGG boots. Can't even give me the latte. Straight up white. But she moves to Mexico with him for 4 years and waits for him. Is waiting for him to be able to come back to America.
So this is recent though.
I think it was 2017 or 16.
So he's gonna come back pretty soon then. 2 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was.
I mean, that's better than when they catch you, you've done nothing wrong, and they tell you, "Oh, you can come back to the States in 10 years from now," and it's like, what? You know about that, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's very uplifting. I'm very happy that man's is living a good life.
Yeah, that's crazy. He got married in Mexico. Everything, dude. It's crazy.
Kids and
That's
everything.
nice.
I didn't show any, but yeah, it was a crazy episode. It really blew my mind because I never expected somebody would do that for little us brown skinners.
I mean, that you'd be surprised, man.
I know.
You'd be surprised.
I know. Well, let me see. We are an hour and a half in. I think that's a pretty good time right there. What do you guys think?
Oh my God, we're gonna say goodbye.
It's too late to apologize.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we're not
Farewell.
apologizing.
My friends.
Yeah.
Oh
Hello,
no.
it's me you're looking for.
What is this? What are you singing now? Like what the?
Until we meet again.
It's been a long time without you, my friend. All right, guys. Is there anything you guys want to say before we log out?
Like, follow, share our podcast.
Hell yeah! If you guys don't like, y'all don't follow, and you don't share, just let me tell you something right now. I hope you shit yourself while you're sleeping. I mean it. Are you living?
Yes, out of the
Nah.
box.
Nah. I mean, I really don't have anything to say. Just you better follow, man. That's it, bro. That's all I gotta say, bro. We gonna say some. We just having fun with what we're doing, you know.
Oh, this was fun.
And
This was fun.
yeah.
First episode is done. I'm once this is done, I'm uploading it to everything, and I think it was a good episode. I really liked it, so I'm kind of looking forward to what else we could do with this.
Yeah, I actually what I would say is for the future ones, obviously when people are sharing and stuff, we would also like everybody's input because we are, would like to know
Yeah.
what people think on the topic that we're speaking on, whether that is the page or anything. So be alerted. Put the notifications on, brethren and sisterin.
Yeah, so and for me, it's just again like they all said, make sure you guys like and follow the page. Make sure you guys share it to your streams, and we're always. You can message the page. You can message us. You can comment. Well, we're open to any ideas or criticism or anything like that. To make us get better. We're pretty much open to. So, um, yeah, it was really fun, guys.
It was fun. Hope you guys like the X-rated podcast.
Oh, this is nothing, dude. We're barely getting comfortable with it. So
I know.
when it's all said and done, and we get really comfortable, we're gonna get some freaky nasty. We're gonna get into that.
No.
I don't know about freaky nasty, bro.
Snap
That's
pop,
gonna be only
Snap pop coming at you live.
Hell
Ladies,
no.
if your panties wet, let them fall to the floor.
Oh, Lord.
Yo,
Good
come
night.
on, bro.
Good night.
I
Good
hope you guys
night.
enjoyed the podcast. We are ending this.
Yes, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.